Yeah.
This is Chris Childs getting ready to perform on Drunk Sports Talk. 1, 2.
I would either say Shula or Mike McCarthy, and I'm not going to get into the reasons why I say Mike McCarthy now. I'm going to let you cook. If you were the GM of the New York Giants, would you be looking at?
And I hear rumors, and there's two, and Mike McCarthy is one of them, right? And the other one, which I feel like is gonna be, you put him on the screen, which is oddly enough, is Mike Tomlin. And it's funny because like those are the two people that I would really like because I've seen Mike Tomlin's success, and that's why I didn't put him at the top of my list, only because um I don't think he's leaving Pittsburgh, and you know what I mean. Like I
That's going
know
to be
they did.
interesting.
They did all the fire chants and all that stuff. Look, he's been there for like 18 years with the same. Like he's almost did a whole corporate job with the whole, what I mean, with the whole organization, man. Like he's doing a Bill Belichick. I don't know if he's gonna jump right back in and start coaching a whole nother team at that after that whole tenure
Yeah.
with the Steelers. You know what I mean? Like he may want to just take a break or do whatever it is, and you know he's been dealt some bad bones too. Like he hasn't had the greatest team to be working around. Like we know he's a great coach, but we also know that he's able to get to 500. We need a quarterback to do a way above that, because 500 or more, that'll get you. You know what I mean? The AFC, I think was the AFC West or something like that. AFC no South, no, the AFC, yeah, West
What are
or,
you talking about?
North, like his division,
Who's?
the Steelers division, because
Oh,
they
yeah,
got
yeah.
the
AFC
yeah,
North. AFC North.
yeah,
Yeah.
AFC North, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, like you may make it to the playoffs with a 500 record, go 9-8, or what I
Yeah.
mean, win 10 wins.
You got Burrow and Lamar in that
Our
division, and we don't know what Shador's going to be.
and our division is, I think our division is tougher. Right now it may not seem that way, but we
It's,
have
it's on the come up. It's on the come up.
healthy all the way around. The NFC East is one of the toughest divisions. You
Yeah,
got the
especially with
Eagles,
the
the
Cowboys
Cowboys is
emerging.
playing like and then the
Cowboys
Commanders,
are
they're having an
coming.
off year because Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? It just sucks he
Yeah.
got injured that way.
Debo's been hurt.
But
There's been a lot. They've been
yeah,
banged up over there. Yeah,
it's
on
been a
both
lot.
sides of the ball. Yeah,
And then the Giants being the Giants without the fucking right parents. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fucking telling their children what to do and what time to fucking go to bed. So I
With
don't
them
think he's
running amok.
leaving, but I would prefer, and my main reason that I would like Mike McCarthy, because they're both similar players. Like I think if you look at their career stats, like as a coach, it's only a couple more wins. I think maybe like 10 more wins. Tomlin has over McCarthy, but I think what gives McCarthy a little bit of an edge is because he dealt with Dak Prescott, who's a mobile quarterback, and he also dealt with the Dallas Cowboys, and he had astronomical years. Like he came in there and they had 12-5. Like it almost made it look like, and I don't know if it was the coaching, but you can't, like, a team just can't be unself coached, right? You know what I mean? You can't just lose Jason Garrett. The year before that, they looked like they were sliding down, and then he went in there, stepped in, and they had just that many wins, right? So, and that's a big town. You know what I mean? That's a big corporate, big eyes, bright lights. That's that type of team, the Dallas Cowboys. I think he would just fit in better here, and we need somebody who could handle that pressure, but also be able to maintain the type of buffoonery that we got going on in this locker rooms, going on across all the way down from the head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Like there's so much shit, you know what I mean? And we'll talk about it later with the general manager. But there's so many people that it just looks like when we play other teams, and then how like you look across the what I mean, like, and this is like, I'm gonna put it in reference. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about, like, we on the sidelines, coach to coach, and we looking at the Giants, and we're on this sidelines, man. when you go out to like whatever functions and shit, and you out there and you see parents letting their kids fucking run amok, yo, those are the Giants. All right, when your kids are the ones that are fucking,
kid is
you know what I
Abdul
mean? Like they
Carter.
go, they go down the slide and they go right back to the bench and just play down. And then when you call them, they run to you and just say, yeah, what's up, pop, smile, like what you need, like you know what I mean? That's what it is, and that's what the Giants need again. That's because like they didn't like there was a lot of good things that the Giants did do, and I think that Mike McCarthy being as well, well known, not well known, but like so much experience in the coaching business, and then at least he did two teams, right? So and he did really good with the Pack. Obviously we know what he did with the Packers. He won a Super Bowl, and look what he did with the Cowboys. Like and just to do that with the
Cowboys.
I think he did a really great job with the. I think he got fired prematurely, in my opinion. And look where they're at right now.
Dealing with Jerry's not easy.
Exactly, and I think over here he'll have a little bit more leeway, but other things need to change that we could talk about. But I just prefer, in my opinion, Mike McCarthy, and I think he'll be able, to provide these guys and build a support cast around him to be able to dictate and make these guys work at the highest capacity, man. Because that's what we really need, man. We need somebody who can fucking school these little youngers right now.
Yeah, I listen. I agree. I like the young, fresh, new it guy in Shula. I definitely like that. But like I said, the way we started off, right, the young-minded, progressive guy, the boy genius versus the retread. You know what I mean? The established retread. If we're talking retread, Mike McCarthy, I agree with everything you said. He brings stability, and same thing with Mike Tomlin as well. I don't think Mike Tomlin. It's hard to say, man, if they're gonna get rid of Mike. He like you said, he's been there for so long. He's never had a losing season thus far.
It might be his first
There
issue.
might be his first, but you know, he builds culture. Like Mike Tomlin's a no nonsense culture type of dude. I think he would come here, and I think he's a defensive guy, right? I think he would come in and he'd get that defensive straightened out. He's a player's coach, right? You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin, when he first came with the Steelers, looked like he was playing with the chain out, with the pulling up in the truck with the 22-inch rims. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
he could relate to players. I think he could straighten a guy like Abdul Carter out. I think guys like Brian Burns and Sexy Dexy and all these guys on the defensive side of the ball, could kind of relate to him. And I think defense is his wheelhouse. And I think he was also, yes, he's a player's coach, but he's also a no nonsense type of guy. I definitely think Mike Tomlin, if they were to release him, or the Giants would have to trade for him, whatever it might be. I think Mike Tomlin becomes available. You go get a Mike fucking Tomlin.
Oh
He's
yeah,
he's one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying?
without a
A lot
doubt.
of people think he took over. He took over the Steelers. Who did he take over the Steelers for? What's my man's name? Bill Cowher. Took over the Steelers for Bill Cowher. A lot of people think he won the Super Bowl. Kind of with Bill Cowher seemed kind of like Gruden did with Tony Dungy. You know that. I don't think that. I think he's a phenomenal coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. You know, where do I sign for Mike Tomlin? Now, in terms of Mike McCarthy, you hit it on the head. Super Bowl winning coach. He knows how to develop a quarterback. Had two of the greatest quarterbacks ever in Favre and A-Rod, right? You know what I'm saying? For you young boys, you're looking at Aaron Rodgers now. He's a shell of himself. Aaron Rodgers, 12 years ago, skill-wise, and this is no hyperbole, skill-wise, he might have been the best quarterback I've ever seen, skill-wise. The way he was elusive, the throws he can make.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was a bad motherfucker,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
let's not get
Think
it
of like
twisted.
Patrick Mahomes on crack.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. But back to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, look, Green Bay did his thing, kind of wore out his welcome a little bit over there. LaFleur kind of comes in, takes over. Still did a hell of a job at Green Bay, Super Bowl winning champion, right? Goes into Dallas, does a good job, man. Does a good job in Dallas. Now, the knock on him was they couldn't win the big game, but listen, it's not easy dealing with Jerry. Mike McCarthy's record as a head coach is 185 and 123 with two ties, right? That's in the regular season. A percentage of 608 in the postseason, right? I think he's 11. What is he? I gotta look it up. Is he 11-11 in the postseason?
Who?
I think Mike McCarthy. I'm not sure. I gotta look it up again.
Mike
But
McCarthy.
he's proven. This is what I like about Mike McCarthy, right? He could come in similar to Tomlin, structure your franchise, reassert the culture. One of the Giants' problems is, and you can see it very clearly, there's
It's
no
lost.
leadership. What?
It's lost.
It's lost, and there's no leadership, and the culture seems in disarray. You know what I mean? I think Dable was too much of a player's coach. I think he was more their friends than being strict. Now I see Mike Kafka trying to like kind of restore the order a little bit. You know what I mean? If I'm Mike Kafka, I would have benched Abdul Carter for the whole game. Fuck the first quarter or first whatever the fuck it was. This before that he got in
Two
trouble.
first drives.
Yeah, what is all that dumb shit, man? Bench him up. You know what I mean? Especially because he's not performing. We're gonna get. Don't worry. We're gonna get to Abdul Carter in a minute.